Me in. Well, let's change that background to that Cosmic P type shit. Get that background changed. Oh, what this shit is? We can probably do this. We can rock with that. Let's try that. Let's try that one, gang. Oh, I can't make myself small. It is what it is, though. We back for this Cosmic P pushes. This Cosmic P pushing. Today we read in the chapter Freedom of the Soul. And don't it just sit right with the whole fact that we on Easter died and rose on the third day? The soul, the freedom of the soul, the rise of the soul. Whatever occult connection that you want to make with it. You see what I'm saying? That's how we rocking today. Yeah, I wish I could stretch that background out a little bit more, but that ain't gonna work neither. That ain't gonna work neither. That ain't gonna work neither. Yeah, ain't gonna work neither. Boom. I get that common P push back there like it's supposed to be. Alright. So if you're just joining the live screen, what we have going on as of right now, the emails will be sent out in exactly 2 minutes. So if you new to the channel, or if you have not joined the email list, where you get a whole bunch of A1 study guides that's coming through, and more will be coming in the future. I would definitely ask you to go into the what do we call that? Let me get to my YouTube page on the phone. I mean, cause I'm screaming straight from the phone now, y'all. Cause I find out that it shows the page is way better, way better when I'm got the picture on, got the camera on the damn book. Fuck, man, I'm going blank. Cause I'm thinking about this music in the background. So that being said, inside, let me make sure it's inside of here. Yeah, inside of here we got the email list that Ben helped me create. Shout out to my boy Benji. Benji's in marketing. He just offered to provide his services to help me with the email marketing. So we got another landing page. Yeah, the email has just been sent to all the people. It's just got the email notification. It's been sent to everybody, and everybody should also be getting the I'm gonna start doing it like that. Um, everybody who subscribed, you should already have the email. So, and then I let people know that we live straight from the email. So tonight we get into the freedom of the soul based off Gyangya Yoga. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Um, and it seems to align perfectly well with, we got 13 people in the video. It should line perfectly well with what's going on for the day as far as Easter. If you're an occultist, I'm not the type of person who sits here and bashes whatever anybody wants to celebrate. It don't do us anything as far as it goes with freedom of the soul. You see what I'm saying? Hit the like button, y'all. Y'all are here. Please hit the like button. That means a lot to the algorithm. Y'all know how that goes. So it pushing it out to people. Even if you don't like the content, let other people like the content. They can like it more if they see you hitting it. Peace. Travis Hunter, peace. Everybody showing up. And what we usually do here is we go over the what do we go over? We go over the past week's study guide, right? So the past week's study guide from the last chapter that we read, I'm about to get into. Please hit that like button, y'all. I see y'all joining. Please hit that like button. Let's get to this last week's study guide. Run over that. I started a couple minutes early, but it doesn't matter as long as this P is getting pushed. And what is the P? Cosmic principle. Over here, we cosmic P pushers. It's not that anybody is running anything. I just came up with the name and the title and getting the understanding that, hey, cosmic principle is way more important than my personal feelings or my personal views. I can go through Christianity, Islam, the Hindu, the occult, Judaism, Hebrew, whatever it may be. I go through all that and find a common principle. Hit the like button, y'all, please, and share this out to your folks. And I can find a principle. So that's what I do over here. So I'm giving that introduction for those who may be new. Let me put my phone on D&D. For those who may be new, now you understand what side of the game it is over here. This ain't that, oh, let's shit on this religion, let's shit on that religion. No, let's find the underlying principle because all these principles um shift out all the way through the goddamn, what they call it, through the fucking cosmos, through every religious system. All the principles are there. And you can't ignore it. Or you can ignore it. If you want to ignore it, please. But that's not what we do over here. We stand on principle. It's SOP, stand on principle, standard operating procedure, and standing on motherfucking purpose is what we do here. So last week's study guide, I won't be able to show it up on the screen. I don't think it's gonna let me. Cause we about to hop into the book in the next about 10 minutes. We get into the book, the actual book. So can I can I share my screen on this motherfucker? I guess I can't share my screen. Okay. It doesn't look like I can share my screen. Let's see. What does that do? It don't look like you can share a screen on here, buddy. Alright. Well, it's all good. Let's read from last week's study guide, which was the unity and diversity chapter, right? So Swami Vivekananda is going through this, showing us unity and diversity, not just amongst, oh, I'm black, I'm white, they're straight, they're gay, they're bisexual, none of that shit. Oh, they're fucking whatever political party, Republican, Democrat, Independent, not just that. I mean, basic shit like that, but this is not what we talking about here. We talking about unity and diversity. And what do we mean by unity and diversity? Let's read a couple of let's okay, this was a cool quote. He who sees the manifold goes from death to death. He who sees the manifold goes from death to death. He who sees division, he who sees division He who sees the vision. Why is he saying that? That's because when we get talking about, oh, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix. Oh, the Maya, the illusion, the illusion, the illusion. The illusion creates separation. You know, you use the common term on what is it? Oh, I'm not I'm not human having spiritual experiences. I'm spiritual having human experiences. What is that created from? That's the division. That's the separation. That's the limiting power of Maya. So when you get mad at the Matrix and an illusion and all this, like what Matrix anyway? Because a lot of people talking about, oh, that's the Matrix doing this. Wait, are you talking about the system that people are using as far as patriarchal systems or capitalism systems? Okay, yeah, okay. And what? What the fuck do they got to do with freeing your soul? What does that have to do with the statement that everybody is saying that, oh, um, I'm not human having a spiritual experience. I'm spiritual having a human experience. Okay, so how do you get to that spiritual side? How do you focus more on that spiritual side? You have to move beyond the fucking division. Fanta high. I am. I got a screenshot that one, bro. Because I don't even know. I think you trolling, or I think you one of them bots coming through with that shit. I'm masturbating 3 times a day. I'm only 20. What should I do? I can't stop it. I'm not a Christian. I'm interested in studying Christianity, what Bible says about desire. Well, fuck it. For those who are watching and probably will want to answer to that question, who says masturbating 3 times a day is bad? Are you still being productive? Are you still being productive in your life? You're probably not if you're doing it 3 times that day. Knock it down. See, I'm not here to judge you. Knock it down to two. Go 2 times a day. Then knock it down to one. Go 1 times a day. Do it week by week. Starting off this week, only beat your meat twice a day. Next week, get down to once a day. You see what I'm saying? Go on down. If you asking that question, that means you must need some help with it. So if you must need some help with it, then hey, see, the problem is whenever I open up Facebook or YouTube, bad videos pop up. So after watching, I go to the room and been doing it since I was 12. Oh boy, maybe God made me different. Hey, everybody is understand honestly not different. Don't even believe in that. I'm only 20, college student. I can't get married now. Feeling guilty. Didn't sleep whole night watching. I feel sorry. I know it's bad. I just can't stop. Want to stop. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you out here, man. You got to listen, man. Hey, you come here, you're asking those questions, whether you're a bot or not. That means somebody's going to be watching the video and probably having that same goddamn problem. Tone it the fuck down. That's what I'm telling you. Tone it down. Yeah. See, now you're not even paying attention to what I'm saying. So I know you. It's probably a bot coming in here to fuck around with that type of shit. And we ain't got no reason to judge you if you really need that type of help. I just gave you a method. Start off with just by toning it the fuck down, bro. Tone it the fuck down. Stop jacking your chicken, choking your chicken so much. Take it from 3 times a day to twice a day. Try that for a week. Take it from 2 times a day to once a week, to once a day. Try that for a week. Tone it down. Figure out why. Pay attention to yourself once you get stimulated about that. What is it? Do you always go into that type of freaky shit when you mad, when you sad, when you're trying to figure out a problem, you can't figure it out, you're like, oh fuck it. You see what I'm saying? Figure out that. You need to get to the root of the source. Step one, just become more aware. Zero, peace, my guy. S-O motherfucking P. Become aware of your situation. But honestly, that leads into a consultation. You would definitely have to hit me up in consultation and join the email list if you want to hit me up for a consultation. Or you hit me in my DMs. Yes, we do consultations. Had a fire one the other day, but let's not get into it. I already explained that on my YouTube. Okay, so last week we went over the chapter 6, unity and diversity. Everybody who's on the email list, you should already have this study guide inside of your email. I'm gonna start doing it like that. Just start sending emails straight on out to you, straight like that. When we live, inside of the email, you have the link to the live. Yeah, I don't know why I ain't been doing that, but here we go. It says Wayne M. Peace. S-O motherfucking P. All right. It says, "He who sees the manifold goes from death to death, but in the heart of things there is unity still." So, under the underlinement of all this separation of this illusion that Maya provides, or that this level of limitation that Maya provides, in the heart of it is unity, and we're going to get into that today because we're talking about the freedom of the soul. We're talking about the freedom of the soul. Hold up, y'all. Make sure I'm still coming through because my Wi-Fi went off my phone because it just do what it want to do. Y'all let me know in the chat if I'm still coming through clear. Am I coming through clear? Let's see. Look like I'm still coming through clear. I checked it on. Look like I'm still coming through. Yeah. All right. So we still coming through clear. So what was I at with that, y'all? For the returners of the cosmic P pushers, the SOP standards, what's happening? So we're going over last week's study guide, y'all. So Wayne, I think all y'all already signed up for the email list anyway, so y'all already got the study guide. So a summary over what he talked about. Basically, what if all the differences in the world, races, species, rich, poor, divine, and human were just costumes worn by the eternal self. What if all that shit ain't it? What if you mad at Christians and it's all a costume? What if you mad at Muslims and it's all a costume? What if you mad at occultists and atheists and it's all a costume? What if it's not real? Ain't that what the illusion provides us? Then the ain't that what Maya, the illusion, the matrix provides us? An illusion. Is that not what we say? And then we turn around and contradict and be going in on motherfuckers who part of some other section of group thought. Like, what the fuck? What if that's what it is? Because that's what we already saying the illusion is. It's providing an illusion. So how can anybody? So that means you're under the illusion that you have enemies, right or wrong. That means you're under the illusion that you have enemies. In chapter 6, Vivekananda pulls back the curtain and shows us that beneath all diversity is unity. Everything you see, love, fight, fear, and forget is all Brahman in disguise. And the terminology for Brahman here is basically the soul, not individual souls, not my individual soul, none of that. The one universal, the biggest P of this cosmic P is consciousness. I got a video coming soon. But it's Brahman in disguise. Our mistake is thinking that the masks are separate beings. But when we wake up to this truth, the world becomes divine. And so do we. Is that not what we're pushing for? That's what I'm pushing for over here. This is the cosmic P. This is the cosmic P pushing right here. We doing. The problem is we see multiplicity and we believe it's real. This leads to fear, attachment, judgment, and cycles of birth and death, reincarnation. Yeah, it's coming back. Yeah, it's due for another trip around this motherfucker. Yeah, it's due for another trip around this motherfucker. The solution. They gave a solution in that chapter. Look deeper. Learn to see one in the many and realize that you are that. Tat, tat, tama, asi. Thou art that. If you've been following me on social media, that's what that means. Thou art that. What is that? That which cannot be defined. That that is up and below, in and without. All through the fucking cosmos, all through everything that could ever fucking exist. That thou art is above Maya, the illusion. That's what every spiritual system goal is. That's why I say you're under the illusion of division, you're under the illusion of separateness, you're under the illusion of that. That's an illusion that you have enemies. Core concept breakdowns, they talked about Brahman, which I just told you what Brahman was, and then you got the concept of Atman, and I got a video coming when I'm making a fire ass presentation. Fire ass presentation that's bringing all this in. I don't want to go too much into all this shit because it kind of reveals the fire shit that I ain't heard no occultists talk about yet. All right, let's see some of the quotes that he gave us. The self-existent one projected the senses outward, but the wise one turned inward and found the self within. Listen again. The self-existent one projected the senses outward, but the wise one turned inward and found the self within. When we're talking about the self, we're talking about the soul. When we talk about the self, we can talk about God, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're talking about here. That's what everybody here. That's why I say, like, I don't really identify no more with the concept of I'm spiritual, living a spiritual life or the spirit. I'm on a path to self awareness. It's the same. Self and is in congruence with the soul. Self is in congruence with God, the highest aspect of God. You know what I'm saying? So, in the heart of things, there is unity still. Go below the surface and you'll find it between gods and men, animals and angels. Gods with an S. The multiplicity of gods, right? Let's see. In reality, there is no death, no misery, no one to mourn, no one to blame. That's what you get at when you get with this type of shit, this type of P that we pushing over here. You ain't gonna find no enemies. You gonna find nobody to be mad at. That's what we getting at over here. And that's just a little bit from last week's what do I call it? Last week's study guide, right? So last week's study guide, you should have access to that if you are already part of the Cosmic P Pushes email list. You should have that. It should not be one goddamn problem with any of that. So, like I said, I like to give you something that you can take home. We're going to treat this light school. We're going to eventually push this over into a community. Once we reach a certain number in the demand and more of the demand is there, we're going to push it over to a certain community to where we ain't got to keep depending on YouTube to be able to interact, to be able to chop it up, you know what I'm saying, and do what Cosmic people should do. Because, eventually this shit can come to an end fucking with this YouTube shit. They shut my YouTube channel down, which is why we building up the email list, which is why that's the most important right now, that I keep getting y'all inside this email list. So, let us hop into the book. If you here, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Come on. Get the likes in alignment with the actual fucking viewers, please. We ain't gonna start reading till somebody else hit that like button. We need you to hit that like button, but there we go. Somebody did. Appreciate y'all. All right, let's get this shit down pat. Oh, y'all looking at the boogers in my nose. Sorry. Let's get this down pat, buddy. Look at me trying to scoot it out and it's hooked on to that. Yeah, that's probably not the best place to have it. Yeah, that don't make sense. Give me a second, y'all. Let me restructure it. What is it? Restructure. Let me restructure it. Y'all hang tight for a second. Thought that was gonna be the best place to sit her there. Y'all thought that was gonna be the best place to sit her. That wasn't the best place to sit her. So now we're gonna sit her where she needs to be set. Let's see how that works here. That looks like that's gonna work real good. That still looks like that's gonna work real good, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen. Look like that's gonna work real good. My golly. By golly. Boom. Y'all let me know in the chat if that's showing good to y'all. How did it look to y'all? That look clear to y'all? That look clear to y'all? Damn, is my chat froze? What's going on? Somebody let me know something. Trying to make sure it look clear so everybody can see it. I don't know, it look like my chat freezing up, bro. But we gonna go on in. We're gonna do what we came here to do. All right. freedom of the soul. Remember Swami Vivekananda traveled here in the late 1800s, right? So we ain't got to the part where he delivered his speeches in America yet. He started off in London. He went to the Queen's Land. Let's see here. Hold up. Yeah, they look like they show good. All right. So let's get to it. The Katha, a Katha, or the Katha Upanishad, right? Y'all should have a copy of the Upanishad. Why I ain't saying I'm good? All right. Y'all should have a copy of the Upanishads. And this is who I recommend that it be written by, with commentary by. Sankcharya. So keep letting y'all know that for a reason. Keep letting y'all know that for a reason, not just showing these books for no reason because it's cute. A lot of fucking gems. All right. So the Katha Upanishads, which we have been studying, was written much later than that to which we now turn. The Chandogya Upanishad, right? The language of the former is more modern, and the thought more organized. In the older Upanishads, the language is very archaic, like that of the hymn portion of the Vedas, and one has to wade sometimes, though quite as hold on, and one has to wade sometimes through quite a mass of unnecessary things to get at the essential doctrines. The ritualistic literature of the Vedas, about which I have told you, has greatly influenced the Upanishads, so that more than half of it is still ritualistic. There is, however, one gain in studying the very old Upanishads. You trace, as it were, the historical growth of spiritual ideas. All right? Do you hear this? They're not sticking to some old shit just because it's old. You trace where the historical growth of spiritual ideas. Imagine that a spiritual system that grows, that's still not talking about some shit, that's still not updated from some shit that happened 2,000 fucking years ago. They still stuck on the old shit and not updating it. Like it's obvious, like a lot of that shit is updated. You need to make it into current times, nigga. It is still as long as it's still aligned with the principles. That's what we're here to do on Easter Sunday, nigga. On Ishtar Sunday, nigga. In the more recent Upanishads, the spiritual ideas have been collected and brought into one place. In the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, which we may perhaps look upon at least as the last of the Upanishads, you do not find any inkling of these ritualistic ideas. The Gita is like a banquet composed of the beautiful flowers of spiritual truth collected from the Upanishads. That's good to know. That's good to know. The Gita is like a banquet composed of beautiful flowers of spiritual truths collected from the Upanishads. Come on, man. Damn, what's going on with my damn highlighter? You should have the Upanishads. I ain't got my shit next to me, it's over there on the bed. But you should have the Upanishads. You should have the Bhagavad Gita. A lot of this shit is what I'm going to be pulling up in my next. Zero already know. I told Zero, gave him a little heads up about what's coming. We all the cultures, right? We like that dark shit, right? Okay. I done pulled up on some shit I ain't heard nobody talk about. I done pulled up on some information I ain't heard nobody bring forth as far as this darkness goes. It has been hinted at, but no one has put it into this context. It's always kind of been elusive. It's always kind of been elusive when you get to talking about this dark shit inside this occult shit. Now, I gotta say, it ain't that goddamn. Oh shit. Why didn't I do that? Hold up. Hold up, y'all. Because I supposed to have the there we go. There we go. There we go, my brother. Hold up. I'm supposed to have the email list pinned in the comments. So if you are watching, if you have not subscribed to the email list, come on, man. What are you doing? We giving off 5 study guides. 5 study guides. Like, man, ain't nobody doing it, but it's being done over here. When you just gonna talk some shit till you talk your ear off and not give you no shit to take home, maybe it'd be more beneficial to me because you would have to come back and rewatch the videos and I get more views. Ooh. No, nigga. What we trying to do here, let me pin this comment, is give you some shit to take home. Oh, damn. Sorry, y'all. I'm logged in from my other YouTube when I put that on now. Let me try this again. Damn. Shit. Damn. Wrong one, too. Hang in there with me, y'all. Because I need to get this pinned in the comments. Oh, that's because I'm not even fucking logged in on this fucking YouTube to that YouTube. Yeah, but yeah, we giving study guides, man. Very useful to be used for you to go back and sit with the information and keep that mental impression. You know what I'm saying? Tapping in and keep tapping into that mental impression that you got from this information. That's most important. So let me get this pinned into the comments. Damn, why I keep doing that, bro? Y'all hold me steady for me. Appreciate you. But I gotta get this into the chat. Make it easier for everybody. When they come in, we just direct them straight to the pinned comments. There you go. Thank you. And that's weird. Like now I'm logged in on this other. I don't even see my comment from my other page. It ain't even showing up. YouTube slick do some weird shit, y'all. Boom. There we go. Pin. All right. Now we got it pinned to the top. Join our email list right there. Pinned to the top. All right. So let's get over here. But in the Gita, let me see if that's showing clear. But in the Gita, you cannot study the growth of the spiritual ideas. You cannot trace them to their source. To do that, as has been pointed out by many, you must study the Vedas. The great idea of holiness that has been attached to these books has preserved them. More than any other. More than any other. More than any. Hold on, damn. Y'all can't see that. Let's make sure. They look pretty clear. More than any other book in the world. From mutilation. In them, thoughts at their highest and at their lowest have been preserved. Listen, this is the same shit Bobby Hemming was saying. You go into this Indian shit, this East India shit, you see that they have a chain of unbroken from sage down to student passed down. They have been preserved. All right. The essential and the non essential, the most ennobling teachings and the simplest matters of detail stand side by side, for nobody has dared to touch them. Commentators came and tried to smooth them down and bring out wonderful new ideas from the old things. They tried to find spiritual ideas in even the most ordinary statements. But the texts remain, and these texts were the most wonderful historical study. We all know that in the scriptures of every religion, we all know that in the scriptures of every religion, changes were made to suit the growing spirituality of later times. One word was changed here and another put in here, and so on. This probably has not been done with the Vedic scripture, or if ever done, it is almost imperceptible. So we have the great advantage. We have this great advantage. We are able to study the thoughts in their original significance, to note how they developed, how from materialistic ideas, finer and finer spiritual ideas evolved until they attained their greatest height in Vedanta. Descriptions of some of the old manners and customs are also to be found in the Vedic literature, but they do not appear much in the Upanishads, where the language used is a peculiarly what? Terse mnemonic. Terse mnemonic. What the fuck does that mean? Damn, I gotta look that shit up. I don't wanna sit back the time, so let's underline that. Let's see what the fuck. For those that's watching and want to look it up, it says TERSEMNEMONIC. All right. The writers of these books simply jotted down these lines as helps to remember certain facts which they suppose were already well known in a narrative which they are telling. They perhaps take it for granted that it is well known to everyone they are addressing. Thus, a great difficulty arises. We scarcely know the real meaning of any of these stories because the traditions have nearly died out. And let's make sure that's showing clear on the camera. Looks like it's showing pretty clear on the camera. And hold on, what it says. And the little that is left of them has been very much exaggerated. Many new interpretations have been put upon them, so that when we find them in a Puranas, they have already become lyrical poems. Just as in the West, we find in the political development of Western races the permanent fact they cannot bear absolute rule. They are always trying to prevent any one man from ruling over them and are gradually advancing to higher and higher democratic ideas, higher and higher ideas of physical liberty. So, in Indian metaphysics, exactly the same phenomenon appears in the development of spiritual life. The multiplicity of the gods gave place to one God of the universe. And in the Upanishads, there is a rebellion even against that one God. Uh-oh. The idea was unbearable. Not only that there should be many governors of the universe ruling their destinies, but also that there should be one person ruling the universe. This is the first thing that strikes us. The new idea grows and grows until it attains its climax. And almost all the Upanishads, we find the climax coming at at the last, in that it is dethroning of this God of the universe. The personality of God vanishes. Impersonality comes. Listen to that. The personality of God vanishes. Impersonality comes. God is no more a person, no more a human being, however magnified and exaggerated, who rules this universe, but he has become an embodied principle in every being, imminent and in the whole universe. I don't see no, okay. Y'all must don't think that was fire. I do. I need to give me a soundboard. Every time I hear some fire shit, that motherfucker like, I spit hot fire with Dylan. Dylan, there's 5 best rappers in the world. It's Dylan, Dylan. Because I spit hot fire. That verse was hot. That verse was hot fire. It would be illogical. It would be illogical to go from the personal God to the impersonal, and at the same time leave man as a person. So, the personal man is broken down, and man as a principle is built up. The person is only a phenomenon that the principle is behind it. Hold up. The person is only a phenomenon. The principle is behind it. Let's highlight that. Damn, I didn't mean to go that far, but she says, or he says, thus. Let's see, I want to make sure that it's showing up pretty clear. That look pretty clear to me. Thus, both sides. Simultaneously, we find the breaking down of the personalities and the approach towards principles. The personal God approaching the impersonal, the personal man approaching the impersonal man. Then come the succeeding stages, the gradual convergence of the two, advancing lines of the impersonal God and the impersonal man. And the Upanishads, listen, and the Upanishads embody the stages through which these two lines at last become one. In the last word of each Upanishad is that or thou art that or that thou art. Y'all been watching my page, y'all done seen me say that a million times. I'm sending out frequencies to those who have ears. And the Upanishad embodies the stages through which these two lines become one. And the last word of each Upanishad is thou art that. Let's get into it. There is but one eternally blissful principle, and that one is manifesting itself as all this variety. Then came the philosophers. The work of the Upanishad seems to have ended at that point. The next step was taken by the philosophers. The framework was given them by the Upanishads, and they had to fill in the details. Many questions would naturally arise. Taking for granted that there is but one impersonal principle, which is manifesting itself as all these manifold forms. How is it that the one becomes many? It is another way of putting the same old question, which in its crude form comes into the human heart as the inquiry into the cause of evil and so forth. Why does evil exist in the world? What is its cause? But the same question has now become refined, abstracted. No more is it asked from the sense plane. Hold up. No more is it asked from the sense plane why we are unhappy, but it is asked from the plane of philosophy. Why has this one principle become manifold? Why has this one principle become multiple? Right? Aside peace, 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 peace. Mad love, mad love. Always standing on motherfucking principle. And I love you for it. Why has this one principle become manifold? Right? Why or how? Well, let's stick with what he's saying. Why has this one principle become manifold? And the answer, what's the answer? As we have seen, the best answer that India has produced is the theory of Maya. The theory of Maya, the illusion, right? Hold up. The theory of Maya, which says that it really has not become manifold. that it really has not lost any of its real nature. Manifoldness is only apparent. So what does that mean? Let's highlight this first and let's get into what that means. Let's not go over that. Let's not just pass by that like that's just some old jibber jabber. Okay, so how did this one principle become multiple principles? Or under how did it show up as multiple? How did this one God that we're going to call a principle here, right? How did this one principle become many into your Egyptian shit and all that shit, right? Because if we read what's a Bobby Hemming recommendation for that Gerald Massey and one of them boys is Butler or whatever his name is. He talks about how they always said it was the one God. And then he was like, nah, it was the many gods, and it evolved into the one God. Makes you kind of think. Or it was one and evolved into, you know what I'm saying? Like going through these cycles. But let's not get into that. Let's not get into that because that's going into my next presentation that I got bringing to y'all. So it says, is the theory of Maya. So the best thing that we got to describe how this one principle evolves into multiple, the best solution that India has come up with is what they call Maya. Hmm? In Egypt, I would call it Maya. And I have proof and correlation to bring that shit to your face. Why you think Maya is just so goddamn pretty and beautiful? We've already read that and done that and spoke on it, right? Maya is to bring balance. And to bring balance into things is this right here. To bring balance means you have to take a manifold of things. Remember what I'm saying? You have to take one thing and break it down into multiple pieces to create the balance in this world of illusion, right? For existence to happen, right? Imagine if all humans were the same color. Imagine if all humans had the same traditions. Imagine if all humans ate the same goddamn food. Imagine if all humans had all male parts or all humans had all female parts. That's not bringing balance. Luminary, peace, 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 peace. He said Heru set join. Heru and set join to make one principle of balance out of the two. All right? You got to make balance out of it. And balance wouldn't even exist if it was just one. You see what I'm saying? So, what would be the point of having the one and creating something that breaks it into pieces and then creates balance out of those pieces? Only to bring it back to the one, right? Only to bring it back to the one. The one separated into many, only to go under these conditions of Maya or through the balancing act of Maya, only to bring it back to the one. All right? I don't want to go too deep in what I'm going to bring up. He may even say it in his book. As y'all can see, I haven't even got to this chapter. I'm reading this chapter for the first time with y'all as well. So, they came up with the theory of Maya, which says that it really has not become manifold. The one principle, which whatever you want to call God, source, has not become a multitude. It really has not lost any of its real nature. Manifoldness is only apparent. What does that mean? So that means your life is only apparent. The shit that you, excuse me, that shit sounds a little rough. What I'm saying is Capricorn, Mercury being in Capricorn and Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde, that's only the apparent. That's only the apparent nature of this reality. The real thing here is the cosmic P that we pushing. The one principle. Yeah. One principle. All right? Man is only apparently a person. Here we go. But in reality, he is the impersonal being. God is a person only apparently, but really he is impersonal being. Really, he is an impersonal being. But even in the finding out of this answer, there have been succeeding stages, and the philosophers have varied in their opinions. Not all Indian philosophers have accepted this theory of Maya. Possibly most of them have not. There are dualists with a crude sort of dualism who will not allow the question to be asked, but stifle it at the very outset. They say, you have no right to ask such a question. You have no right to ask for an explanation. It is simply the will of God, and we have to submit to it quietly. There is no liberty for the human soul. Everything is presented what we shall do, have, enjoy, and suffer. And when suffering comes, it is our duty to endure it patiently. If we do not, we shall be punished all the more. How do you know that? Because the Vedas say so. And thus, they quote their texts and give their meanings, and they want to enforce them. Don't that sound like some religious shit that you grew up over here in America? Nigga! Don't that sound like some of that shit? Obviously, Vivekananda wasn't part of that type shit. Obviously, he wasn't rocking with that shit. And the message he left behind wasn't rocking with that shit. That's why I say this shit lines up with the type of shit that we on over here. At least I'm on over here and a couple of y'all are on. All right? There are others who, though not admitting the Maya theory, stand midway. They say that the whole of this creation forms, as it were, the body of God. God is the soul of all souls and of the whole nature. In the case of individual souls, contractions come from evil doing. When a man does anything evil, his soul begins to contract, and his power is diminished and goes on decreasing until he does good works when it expands again. So they talk about an expanding and contracting systems, and I think to all Indian systems in the world, whether they know it or not, and that is what I should call the divinity of man. There is not one system. Hold up. Let's see what he's finna say. Remember, this was a radical nigga. Hold up. So it says, there is not one system in the world, not one religion which does not hold the ideal, whether expressed in language of mythology, allegory, or philosophy, that the human soul, whatever it be, or whatever its relation to God, is essentially pure and perfect. Not one religion. That's why we say we looking at the P. Over here, we deal with the principles. We're not getting caught up on all that traditional, dogmatic, superstition shit. That's why we give zero fucks who the fuck want to celebrate Easter. We understand certain principles, right? On the third day, man, hold up, man. Kabbalistically, let's look at this. We know Tifereth is here. On the third day, he rose. On the third day, he rose. On the third day, he rose. On the 1, 2, 3, he rose. Yeah, we're not looking at this to worship this. We understand the triple of energy. We understand the Christ consciousness energy. We understand that energy from getting trapped in Malkuth. Guess what this chapter is called? The freedom of the soul. The freedom of the soul. The freedom of the soul. So-called trapped or thought to be trapped in the illusion of Malkuth. That made some of them run off. I ain't with that. We don't give a fuck about worshiping no man. We want to know the principles and the freedom of the soul. The ascension of jnana and the freedom of the soul. This is what we talking about. That's your story. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no one man story. That's what we supposed to be understanding. We're over here as occultism, as studying the occult, as anybody of the line of thought of self-realization. That made them leave right there, boy. It ain't for you. This ain't for you. This for the big dogs. I'm gonna lie to you, this for the big dogs. Okay. Somehow, hold on. Okay, let's see. Whatever, hold on, let's go back. That the human soul, whatever it be, or whatever it is in relation to God, is essentially pure and perfect. Its real nature is blessedness and power, not weakness and misery. Somehow, this present misery has come. The cruel systems may speak of a personified evil, a devil, or Arhemian, explain how this misery came. Other systems may try to make a God and a devil in one, who makes some people miserable and others happy, without any reason whatsoever. Others, again, more thoughtful, bring in the theory of Maya and so forth. But one thing stands out clearly, and it is with this that we have to deal. After all, these philosophical ideas and systems are but gymnastics of the mind, intellectual exercises. The one great idea that to me seems to be clear and that comes out through the masses of superstition in every country and every religion is the luminous idea that man is divine, that divinity is our nature. This is the same shit that I've been pushing over here. I give zero fucks about the superstitions of what everybody's talking about, bro. Cause you niggas get into this occult shit and get superstitious as fuck too. It's like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? Are you fucking even, bro? Are you fucking even, bro? Are you really even on this occult shit, bro? What the fuck are you really doing, bro? Other than just trying to use a whole bunch of scary demon shit to scare people off and make people think you fucking. Or it wouldn't matter if it's Afrocentric or Native Indigenous. There's an underlying principle amongst all of this shit. That's what I'm about. I don't care to identify as what the fuck or what the fuck else. I don't care personally. My thing is about finding the divinity in my nature. What is yours? That's what I do over here. That's the P that I'm pushing over here. Mine is to find the divinity in my nature. Matter of fact, my nature is divinity. The teachers that came before me told me my nature is divinity. How do I come into realization of that? Is that what the fuck you niggas is here for? That's what the fuck we here for. You're not black, white, Mexican, Hispanic, Asian, short, fat, gay, straight, bisexual, multisexual, whatever the fuck. Your nature is divinity. Yes, you can use all that other shit that I just described in the apparent. Obviously, don't be a fool. But know your true nature is divinity. That's what we here for. That's the cosmic P that we pushing. Whatever else come is a mere superstition. Listen, here we go. In every country and in every religion is a luminous idea that man is divine. That divinity is our nature. Whatever else comes is a mere superstition. This is why I fuck with the Vedanta. Don't nobody else want to call it superstition. It's how it's supposed to be. That's the you know what I'm saying? That's the word. What you mean? So you saying you ain't? I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. All these new age spiritual systems and shit has done nothing but boost motherfuckers' egos, bro. In the ego sense, I meant in the uncommon sense, and also in the common sense. It's boosted your arrogance, made you feel like you better than somebody because you know a little bit more. Because in reality, what the queen say? What's her name? Erica Badu. He, um, a man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. I don't know shit. Think about how vast this shit is. I don't know shit. Think you know some shit? Think you better than a motherfucker, bro? Think that because you left Christianity, you better than the motherfuckers who Christian. Look how you use the same prejudices and shit and all that same type of shit, suppressing people and shit, making them feel stupid. Yeah, they do, but so the fuck what? If you understand your nature is divine, what the fuck does that mean to you? Shouldn't mean shit, man. Something has been superimposed, but they cannot kill the divine nature. So that superimposition or that superstition. Well, it's okay. Whatever. Okay, he said superimposition. I'm sorry, y'all, but fuck it. He used superstition up there, so but it's superstition still. So let's read that again. Whatever else comes is mere superimposition, as Vedanta calls it. Something has been superimposed, but that cannot kill the divine nature. And the most degraded, in the most degraded as well as the most saintly, it is ever present. So even in the most ugly, nastiest attitude bitch you can see on the street, that divinity is still their nature. It has to be called out and will work itself out. Listen, it has to be called out and it will work itself out. We have to ask and it will manifest itself. People of the old knew the fire existed in flint and in dry wood, but friction was necessary to call it out. That's why I say, hey, guess what? Ain't no obstacles will apprehend you. Those obstacles are only opportunities to prosper over pain. Before I even got into this shit, before I even got into this spiritual shit, my name was No Way Pop. No obstacles will apprehend you, prosper over motherfucking pain. It was written, my nigga. It was written. Can't fake it. So this fire of freedom and purity is the nature of every soul and is not a quality. Because the quality, listen, listen. So we're gonna highlight it. So this fire, listen. So this fire of freedom and purity is the nature of every soul and is not a quality. So your purity and your freedom is not a quality. Why does he say it's not a quality? So you can't identify what's the quality of your soul? Ooh, purity and freedom. My qualities are divineness and this. Yeah, no. Because what? Because qualities can be acquired and therefore can be lost. He's giving gems here, man. The soul is one with freedom, and the soul is one, and the soul is one with, and the soul is one with existence. And the soul is one with knowledge. This is what they call Sat Chit Ananda. Existence, knowledge, bliss. Absolute. That's what you are. Sat Chit Ananda. Huh? Existence, consciousness, bliss. Existence, knowledge, bliss. Look that up. Look that up. Sat Chit Ananda. You'll be seeing me use that a lot more in the coming days. All right. So, existence, knowledge, or existence, consciousness, bliss of the absolute is the nature, the birthright of the soul. And all the manifestations that we see are its expressions, dimly or brightly manifesting it. Even death is but a manifestation of the real existence. Highlightable, highlightable, highlightable. is the nature and the birthright of the soul, and all manifestations that we see are expressions, dimly or brightly manifested. Even death is a manifestation of the real existence. Birth and death, nigga. Birth and death. Life and decay. Degeneration and regeneration. Right? Don't that sound like some Gibera or some Gibera? Damn, my bad. Some Gibera and Hasid type shit. The building, the breaking down and building up are all manifestation of the oneness. Don't Gibra and Hasid are all manifestation of the oneness? Don't that sound like some Kether? Remember, I keep telling y'all the whole tree is a manifestation of this one thing. It's under the illusion when you're dealing with the tree of life. Let's look at this again. Look at this whole goddamn tree. They go to breaking down, or Bina doing a breaking down, right? But here's another manifestation of of Bina, right? Breaking down the severity pillar, the pillar of severity, building up the pillar of mercy over here, huh? The whole tree is a manifestation of this. All this really don't exist down here, including Dob. All this really don't even exist down here. It's this and what's behind it. Dun 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 dun. Ain't gonna get too deep into that. Because I spoil the next presentation video coming out. Hopefully y'all subscribed. If you just joined it, please hit that subscription, hit that like button, and if you have not, please hit that pinned comment in the link, which is the study guide. Those who are already signed up with the study guide have already received. I mean, who signed up to the email list have already received the study guide. I'm gonna start sending it out during the live stream when we start the live stream. So if you haven't joined the email list, you will receive yours after this live stream. I see somebody just joined the email list. Appreciate you for joining. Appreciate you. So we're gonna set you up. We're gonna get you right after the live stream. Okay? Let's continue. Birth and death, life and decay, degeneration and regeneration are all manifestation of the oneness. So knowledge, however it manifests itself, either as ignorance or a learning, is but the manifestation of the same chit. Chit is consciousness, the essence of knowledge. The difference is only in degree and not in kind. Do y'all hear that? The essence of knowledge, the difference is only in degree and not of kind. Don't that sound like some shit Dion Fortune said? The difference in knowledge between the lowest worm that crawls under our feet and the highest genius that the world may produce is only one of degree and not of kind. The Vedantist thinker boldly says that the enjoyments in this life, even the most degraded joys, are but manifestations of that one divine bliss, the essence of the soul. Maybe that don't sit right with each other. Because think of the most degrading shit that you can think of. Yeah, what he's saying here, even that is an expression of the divine, motherfucker. This is why, this is why non-dual or non-duality schools of thought or spiritual systems, people can't get jiggy with. It's hard. It's hard for you to accept something like that. Don't lie. I know it is. Peace. Whoever just joined the email list, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Got another joiner. Okay. Let's get down here. Where we going? The idea seems to be the most prominent in Vedanta. This idea seems to be the most prominent in Vedanta. And as I have said, it appears to me that every religion holds it. I have yet to know the religion which does not. It is the one universal ideal working through religions. Take the Bible for existence. You find there, as an allegorical statement, that the first man, Adam, was pure, and afterwards his purity was obliterated by his evil deeds. It is clear from this allegory that the Hebrews thought that the original nature of man was perfect, The impurities that we see, the weakness that we feel, are but superimpositions on that nature. And the subsequent history of Christian religion shows that the Christian believe in the possibility. Nay, the zero says everything's an expression of the divine. Facts. That certainty of regaining that old state. So he says the Christian believe in the certainty of regaining that old divine state. Right? This is the whole history of the Bible, Old and New Testament together. That's the principle of the Bible. Why niggas get so mad at it? It's the same principle of what you're trying to do. All you disagreeing with is, you know what I'm saying, certain Bible verses. Yeah, man, be good to your slave. Well, shit, I'm with you on that. Shit. I mean, slave, be good to your master. Respect your master, nigga. Or what if it means slave? See, under the illusion that you're a slave, that you're enslaved in his body. What if it meant just treat your body well? I don't know. But obviously, there's certain shit in that book I'm not rocking with. So, is it with the Mohammedans or the Muslims, right? They also believe in Adam and the purity of Adam and hold that through Muhammad. The way has been opened to regain the lost state. So, two, with the Buddhists, they believe in a state called nirvana, which is beyond the relative world. It is exactly the same as that of Brahman of the Vedantists. Are y'all seeing how this correlation is happening here amongst different religions across the world? If you look at it for principalities and not looking at it with your mind that, fuck, man. That little boy shit, man. You're looking at it in a little boy ass way. I can't even think of the word that I want to use. But you're seeing the correlation amongst all these different religions, right? That's why I keep telling y'all, everybody's fucking right. Everybody's right. On one level and on another level. If we're looking at principle, not personality of how a preacher acts, not personality of how the fucking Pope acts, not a personality and tradition that or the system that they've set up. We talking about the principle that underlines all of this shit. Seems like Zero the only one paying attention. What the fuck y'all doing out there, man? Come on, man. We ain't with all that, man. Y'all here. Y'all can drop something in the motherfucking chat. This is we growing a community here. That's what these live readings are for. So too with the Buddhists. They believe in a state called nirvana, which is beyond the relative world. It is exactly the same as Brahman of the Vedantists. The whole system of Buddhism is founded upon the idea of regaining the lost state of nirvana. In every system, we find this doctrine present, that you cannot get anything which is not yours already. You are indebted to nobody in this universe. You claim your own birthright as it has been poetically expressed by a great Vedantist in the title of one of his books called, man, shit, I can't say that, Sarasashuti, or City, the attainment of your own empire. That empire is yours. We have lost it and we have to regain it. The Mayavedian, the Mayavedian, however, says that the idea of having lost the empire is a hallucination. You never lost it. That is the only difference. So this is what we get into today. This statement right here. However, says that the idea of having lost the empire is a hallucination. You never lost it. You never lost it. You never lost your divinity. You never lost your connection with God. You never lost it. And you can never lose it. Your nature of being God. You can never lose it. Although all the systems agree so far, we have the empire. We had the empire, and that we have lost it. They give us varied advice as to how to regain it. That's all every religion is. Trying to give you advice of how to regain this divinity, right? Or regain something that you think you lost. One says that we must perform certain ceremonies, worship certain deities in a certain way, eat certain sorts of food, live in a particular fashion to regain that empire, right? That's what we know about normal religion, and that what is the reason why a lot of people left it, right? Especially if you doing it or trying to do it and you figure out all those people in the back is not doing it. Like, hold up, you ain't living like that. You ain't doing that. And then you condemning me, right? Ben, Ben, Benjamin. What's happening, dog? That's my guy. We got to link up again real soon. Another says that if we weep and prostrate ourselves and ask pardon of some being beyond nature, we shall regain that empire. Another system says that if we love, hold up. Another system says that if we love such a being with all our heart, I'm trying to keep it straight, but I can't tell what straight is. Oh my damn, what's the name? I guess that's straight. But another says that if we love such a being with all our heart, we shall regain that empire. All that varied advice is in the Upanishads. As I go on, you will find it so. So don't leave. Don't leave this live stream. And if you just joined, you need to hit that like button. And if you just joined and hit that link that's been pinned in the comments, I had my boy Ben. Well, I didn't have him do shit. Ben reached out and said that he wants to help and be a part of it. So that link in the bio is going to lead you to what's that called? Being a landing page that's made strictly for this right here, this book read, right? This book read, you link up in there, and that's where you get all your goddamn PDF study guides. Once you sign up, okay, somebody else did. Okay, yeah. So once you sign up, what Zero say? They hit me so perfectly today. You never lose a divinity because you are that. There you go. More than what you think you are. You are divine in the way that you can't even totally comprehend, and that's amazing. That's it right there. We can't even comprehend how divine we is. We can't even comprehend how divine we is, Zero. That's a key word right there. Comprehend. But let's go. He says, all this very advice is given in the Upanishads. As I go on, you will find it to be so. But the last and the greatest counsel is that we need not weep at all. We need not go through all these ceremonies and need not take any notice of how to regain our empire because we never lost it. Why should we go about seeking what we never lost? We are pure already. We are free already. If we think we are free, free we are this moment. If we think we are bound, bound we shall be. Come on, man. Somebody drop a SOP in the chat. I ain't going no further till I get some SOPs in the chat. Fuck. That nigga said we are pure already. We are free already. If we think we are free, free we are at this moment. And if we think we are bound, bound we shall be. I'm not reading no more till I get some SOP. Got my SOP in the chat. Y'all ready to be glad somebody dropped it. Y'all just watching and ain't saying shit. This is a very bold statement. Y'all know I be saying some bold shit on here. This is a very bold statement. And as I told you at the beginning of these lectures, I shall have to speak to you very boldly. It may frighten you now, but when you think it over and realize it in your own life, then you will come to know that what I say is true. If that freedom is not of your nature, by no manner of means can you become free. If it's not already in your nature, then by no manner can you become free, by no ritual, by no praises, by no worshiping can you become free if it ain't already in you. It's got to already be there. You can't get something that ain't yours. Ain't that what we say? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. What God has for me, no man can take. So what does that mean? It's already yours. Mm-mm-mm. This man speaking like this in 1896. I got to keep reminding y'all of that. All right? Okay, where was that? Okay. Damn. It may frighten you now. Okay. Or if you were free and in some way you lost that freedom, then hold on, let's go back. Let's go back. It may frighten you now, but once you think over it and realize it in your own life, then you will come to know that what I say is true. If that freedom is not your nature by no manner or means, can you become free? Or if you were free and in some way you lost that freedom, then you were not free to begin with. Had you been free, what could have made you lose it? The independent can never be made dependent. If it is really dependent, its interdependence was a hallucination. Of the two sides, then, which will you take? If you say that the soul was by its own nature pure and free, it naturally follows that there is nothing in this universe which could make it bound or limited. But if there was anything in nature which could bind the soul, it naturally follows that it is not free. And our statement that it is free is a delusion. So if it is possible for us to attain freedom, the conclusion, if it is possible for us to contain freedom or attain, oh, no. What did he say? Hold up. So if it is possible for us to attain freedom, the conclusion is inevitable. The conclusion is inevitable that the soul is by nature free. It cannot be otherwise. Hold up, y'all. It cannot be otherwise. Freedom means either independence of anything outside. Freedom means independence of anything outside. And that means that nothing outside itself could work upon it as a cause. The soul is causeless. And from this follow all the great ideas that we have. You cannot establish the immortality of souls unless you grant that it is by its nature free. Or, in other words, that it cannot be accepted upon anything outside, for death is an effect produced by some outside cause. I drink poison and I die, thus showing that my body can be acted upon by something outside that is called poison. But if it be true that the soul is free, it naturally follows that nothing can affect it and it can never die. The freedom, immortality, and the blessedness of the soul have meaning only if it is beyond the laws of causation. Beyond the laws of causation. So that's what does that mean? That means if you're looking at the tree of life, that means beyond the world of absolute. Your soul is beyond the world of absolute. I'm giving some hints here. Your soul is beyond Keto. That's all I'm gonna say. Of these two, which will you take? Either make the first delusion or make the second delusion. So which one you gonna choose? Are you gonna choose that Maya is whooping your ass and you forgot you was a god and you just coming back into reality, remember you were God, and Donald Trump is doing this and the white man is doing that and the Christians are doing that and the small hats are doing that? You gonna run with that? Okay. You gonna run with that money returning spirits out to attack you and people putting hexes on you and these people this and these people that? Okay. It is more constant with all my feelings and aspirations. I am perfectly aware that I am free by nature, and I will not admit that this bondage is true, and my freedom is a delusion. Nigga, that's how I'm moving. And that's how I'm trying to push y'all to move. If that does not become a realization for you, it is perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. This is how you get out of survival mode. Having this level of realization. You don't get out of survival mode by making more motherfucking money. You don't get out of survival mode because a man comes into your life and takes you out. You don't get out of survival mode because a woman comes into your life and takes you out of survival mode. You get out of survival mode by having this very understanding here. I am perfectly aware that I am free by nature, and I will not admit that this bondage is true and my freedom is a delusion. Just like a dog chasing his tail. He can't never find it because he's always has it. That's it. That's it, Zero. This discussion goes on in some form or another in all philosophies. Even in the most modern philosophies, you find the same discussion. There are two parties. One says that there is no soul. The other, one says that there is no soul. That idea of the soul is a delusion produced by by the rapid succession of particles of matter, bringing about the combination which you call the body or the brain. That the impressions of freedom is a result of vibrations and motions. So if you believe that, that's perfectly fine too. That's perfectly fine too. If you just join, hit that like button. If you just join, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as well. If you just joining, hit that pinned comment in the links that will have you joining our email list, where you will get a study guide for this. For those who have already joined the email list, you have already got the study guide in your inbox. I suggest you go over it, because by the time we finish, you will have a study guide for every bit that you. Well, man, y'all get some fire right now. Y'all don't even know it. You don't even know it. The result of vibrations and motions and continuous succession of the particles. There were Buddhist sects who held that same view and illustrated it by this example. Here we go. If you take a torch and whirl it around rapidly, there will be a circle of light. That circle does not really exist because the touch is changing place every point. Hold up, because the torch is changing place every moment. The torch is changing place every moment. We are but bundles of little particles, which in the rapid whirling produce the delusion of a permanent soul. The other party states that the rapid succession of thought creates the delusion of matter, which does not really exist. So we see one side claiming that spirit is a delusion, and the other that matter is a delusion. Which side would you take? Of course, we would take this. Of course, we would take spirit and deny matter. The arguments are similar for both. Only on the spirit side, the argument is a little stronger. For nobody has ever seen what matter is. We can only feel ourselves. I never knew a man who could feel matter by going outside of himself. Think about that. I never knew a man who could feel matter by going outside of himself. Nobody was ever able to jump outside of himself. Therefore, the argument is a little stronger on the side of the spirit, and he's not talking about astral projection, niggas. Therefore, the argument is a little stronger on the side of the spirit. Secondly, the spirit theory explains the universe, while materialism does not. Hence, the materialistic explanation is illogical. If you boil down all the philosophies and analyze them, you will find that they are reduced to one or other of these two positions. So, here too, in a more intricate form, is a more philosophical form. We find the same question about freedom and bondage. One side says that the first is a delusion, and the other that the second is a delusion. And of we side with the second in believing that our bondage is a delusion. Zero says when you get free for that, beliefs. You're not a more okay. Oh, you're not more. You're not more of a magician. You become magic itself. That's it right there. You don't become more of a magician. You become that very magic that you're doing. Which means what? The whole time you were nothing but magic, under the illusion that you're a magician. That's five right there, zero. Totally. Everything you can experience with the senses, you experience inside. All the outside experience is eternally in reality. Facts. The solution of Vedanta is that we are not bound. Some of y'all might not like that type shit because it don't give you no enemy. You can't raise hell at the matrix and blame the white man if you come into this level of understanding. This is why non-duality is hard for folks. We are free already. Not only so, but to hold up, we are free already. Not only so, but to say or think that we are bound is dangerous. It is a mistake. It is self-hypnotism. As soon as they say, I am bound, I am weak, I am helpless, woe unto you. You rivet, you rivet, you rivet one more chain upon yourself. You are adding these chains to yourself. You are adding the suffering to yourself. Do not say it. Do not think it. I have heard of a man who lived in a forest and used to repeat day and night, Siboham, I am the blessed one. And one day a tiger fell upon him and dragged him away to kill him. People on the other side of the river saw this and heard the voice so long as the voice remained in him, saying, Shavaham, even in the very jaws of the tiger. There have been many such men. There have been men who, while being cut to pieces, have blessed their enemies. I am he, I am he, and so art thou. I am pure and perfect, and so are all my enemies. You are he, and so am I. That is a position of strength. There are no doubt great and wonderful things in religions of the dualists. Wonderful is the idea of the personal God apart from nature, whom we worship and love. Sometimes this idea is very soothing, but says Vedanta that feeling is something like the effect that comes from an opiate. It is not natural. It brings weakness in the long run. And what this world wants today more than it ever did before is strength. It is weakness, says Vedanta. Hold on, let's read that again. It brings weakness in the long run. And what this world wants today more than it ever did before is strength. It is weakness, says Vedanta, that is the cause of all misery in the world. Weakness is the one cause of suffering. We become miserable because we are weak. We lie, we steal, we kill, and commit other crimes because we are weak. We suffer because we are weak. We die because we are weak. Where there is nothing to weaken, where there is nothing to weaken us, there is no death or sorrow. We are miserable through delusion. We are miserable through delusion. Make sure that's it right. We are miserable through the delusion. Give up the delusion, and the whole thing vanishes. It is plain and simple indeed. Through all these philosophical discussions and tremendous mental gymnastics, we come to one religious idea, the simplest in the whole world. What is that? Monistic Vedanta is the simplest form in which you can put the truth. A great mistake was made in India and elsewhere because people did not look at the ultimate principle. Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. Nigga talking that shit that I've been talking. People did not look at the ultimate principles, but only thought of the process. which is very intricate indeed. That don't mean the process is wrong and it shouldn't be understood, but too many, too many these tremendous philosophical and logical propositions were alarming. They thought that these things could not be made universal, could not be followed in everyday practical life, and that under the guise of such a philosophy, much laxity of the living world would arise, of living would arise. But I do not believe at all the monistic ideal preached to the world will produce immortality and weakness. On the contrary, I have reason to believe that they are the only remedy there is. If this be truth, why let people drink ditch water when the stream of life is flowing by? If this be the truth, that they are all pure, why not at this moment teach it to the whole world? Why not teach it with the voice of a thunder to every man that is born, to saints and sinners, men and women and children, to the man on the throne and to the man sweeping the streets? It appears to be a very big and very great undertaking. Too many, it appears very startling. To too many, it appears very startling. But this is because of superstition, nothing else. By eating all sorts of bad and indigestible food or by starving ourselves, we have become incompetent to eat a good meal. We have listened to words of weakness from our childhood. Y'all hear them? We have listened to words of weakness from our childhood. Let's see how they look. We have listened to words of weakness from our childhood. You hear people say that they don't believe in ghosts, but at the same time, there are very few who do not feel a little creepy sensation in the dark. It is simply superstition. So, with all religions, superstition. There are people in this country who, if I told them there was no such being as the devil, would think all religion was gone. Many people had said to me, how can there be religion without a devil? How can there be a religion without a God to direct us? How can we live without being ruled by somebody? We like to be so treated because we have become used to it. Oh, y'all, man. Hope, man. I know y'all, man. Y'all need to come on, man. Come on. We like to be treated. We like to be so treated because we have become used to it. You like being ruled by somebody. You like being ruled by the Illuminati. You like pointing fingers at the Illuminati and saying the Illuminati is doing this. You like that. The world likes that. The world likes to have an enemy like Trump. Have y'all not paid attention to the shit? When Trump do something, they were like, see, see, y'all the motherfuckers voted for him. This is exactly what y'all get. And y'all wanted to vote for him. They can't wait to jump down somebody's goddamn throat. And if somebody would have voted for, who the fuck was it? Who else was running? Biden. Somebody would have voted for Biden. The other people for Trump were like, see, this what y'all get. Goddamn traitor. He's a goddamn traitor. And Sleepy Joe this and Sleepy. People can't wait to attack other people and blame somebody else. First of all, why the fuck are you even out here trying to depend on some man to control you? Why are you going to the voting booth for that? What are you doing? I tell motherfuckers, people like, yeah, go vote, go vote. I'm like, listen here. Yeah, if you can even show me in a Christian Bible where Jesus said something about taking your ass to the goddamn voting booth, he can't, because he said it's in you. You don't change your life by going to vote for a motherfucker. You don't change your life by being in fear of a motherfucker controlling shit. I'm not saying people ain't pulling strings. That's not what I'm saying. But you love to live like that and have some people to point fingers at. That's it, Luminaire. Folks indulge in a spirit of fear and blame. Boogeymanism. Like, you love it. The archons, the demiurge, even the teachers that brought that to our realizations. Stop believing that bullshit. And people still carried it on. Come on, man. Boogeymanisms. We are not happy until we feel we have been reprimanded by somebody every day. The same superstition. But however terrible it may seem now, the time will come when we shall look back, each one of us, and smile at every one of those superstitions which have covered the pure and eternal soul, and repeat with gladness, with truth and strength, I am free, and I am was free, and will always be free. That's how I feel. I don't know about nobody else, but that's how I feel. We, each one of us, will smile every one of those superstitions. Governed by the pure eternal soul, repeat in gladness, I am true. With strength, I am free. I was free and will always be free. That's why when y'all been watching my YouTube, I had that Joker sitting up behind me. Why so serious? This shit becomes funny as hell, bro. It's almost like a cosmic joke. I used to tell people that they even so-called conscious and spiritual people. Like, you know, it ain't like no, bro. It's a joke, bro. The whole fact that you think you, I wasn't using the word bound or, you know what I'm saying, not free. I was using the word, the fact that, damn, look at you, a God, and you down here paying bills, nigga. Yo ass down here paying rent. Yo ass down here paying for insurance. Yo ass down here trying to get your credit together. What the fuck is wrong with you? That shit is funny to me. Cause it ain't even that. We thinking is that. And I found the system that actually taps into that. And we read it. It says the monistic idea will come out of Vedanta. And it is the one idea that deserves to live. The scriptures may perish tomorrow, whether the idea first flashed in the brains of the Hebrews or of the people living in the Arctic regions. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, I don't. Nigga want to be like, well, black people the first ones that had it. We did it. Okay, bro. People see a nigga reading shit that come from India, but like that ain't they stole that from black folks. They stole like okay, bro. Like nobody cares. Why don't I care? For this is the truth, and the truth is eternal, and the truth itself teaches that it is not the special property of any individual or nation. Niggas ain't ready for that type of life for living. I don't give a fuck if you a Moor, Israelite, Christian, white man, Asian man, whatever. Don't matter to me. What's the principle? Occult, goddamn witchcraft, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever the fuck you want to be. Who had it first means not shit to me. Why? Because I am free and I was free and will always be free. For this is the truth, and truth is eternal, and therefore it teaches that it is not the special property of any individual or a nation. And he's speaking for his Indian culture as well, nigga. Men and animals and gods are all common heirs to this one truth. Let them all receive it. Why make life miserable? Why let people fall into all sorts of superstitions, not only in this country, but in the land of its very birth? If you tell people this truth and they are frightened, they say, this idea is for Sannyasins, Sannyasins. I don't know what that means. Who give up the word and live in the forest. Okay. So them type of people who give up the word and live in the forest, right? When some people want to go off grid, off grid, off grid. I'm not knocking off grid. I'm definitely not knocking off grid like I want to live off grid. But what I'm saying is like a lot of people, y'all get what I'm trying to say. A lot of people run escapism. That's what we're talking about. They saying this idea is for people who give up the word and live in the forest. For them, it is all right. But for us as poor householders, we must all have some sort of fear. We must have ceremonies and so on. Dualistic ideas have ruled the world long enough, and this is the result. Uh oh. He's saying the cause of dualism, the dualistic philosophies of the dualistic religions of the dualistic sciences is the cause of suffering in this world and has ruled long enough. And this is the result. Why not make a new experiment? It may take ages for all minds to receive monoism, but why not begin now? If we have told about it to 20 persons in our lives, we have done great work. Look here. Look how many people we got watching. Look how many people we got watching right here. Look how many people we have watching. This is great work right here. What we got on YouTube. This is great work. We're doing great work right here, fellas, ladies. You're witnessing great work right here. Not because it's me reading a goddamn book or me speaking to you with understanding of this. It's because you coming to receiving of this, because this is your true nature. Not one man or individual or nation owns this shit. Truth is truth. There is one idea which often militates against it. It is this. It is all very well to say, I am pure, the blessed, but I cannot show it always in my life. Oh, this is true. The idea is always very hard. But would it men matter to go towards superstition? So is it better to go towards superstition than to be of this, what we talking about here? If we cannot get nectar, would it men matters for us to drink poison? So would you rather drink poison than this than to work towards what we talking about here? Would it be any help for us because we cannot realize truth immediately to go into darkness and yield to weakness and superstition? Nigga? Or are you fucking even, bro? Are you? Huh, the fuck, bro? I have no objection to dualism in many of its forms. I like most of them, but I have no objection to every form of teaching. Same way I'm feeling, Vivekananda. Let me be more discreet. And his name Vivekananda means discernment. As you can see why he got his goddamn name. I have no objection to dualism in many of its forms. I like most of them, but I do not have objections to every form of teaching which inculcates weakness. This is the one question that I put to every man, woman, or child who is in physical, mental, or spiritual training. How do you feel? Are you any stronger? Ask that to yourself, y'all. How do you feel, and are you any stronger? For I know it is the truth alone that gives strength. I know that truth alone gives life, and nothing but approaching reality will make us strong. And that none, and that none will reach truth until he is strong, or she is strong, and that, hold up, he is strong. Any system, therefore, which weakens the mind, which makes one superstitious, makes one mope, makes one desire all sorts of wild impossibilities, mysteries, and superstitions, I do not like, because because its effect is dangerous. Such systems never bring any good. Such things create morbidity. We get to the end. Such things create morbidity in the mind, make it weak, so weak that in the course of time it will almost be impossible to receive truth or live up to it. And that's a lot of problem that we all have with things like Christianity. But that don't mean gang bang on them. Because at the core of that religion is the principles. We all know Jesus came back to teach that you are that. And it's hard to get people who are of that faith to see that. Why? Because it's hard to receive the truth that you have that power within you. That's what he said. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods and that law cannot be changed? Didn't he write it to those people and aren't those people the gods? Something like that. I posted it up before. That's what he said. Whether he existed it or not, that principle travels through light fucking speed. That's what we ain't that what we spiritual folks call Christ consciousness? That's the principle of the New Testament, right or wrong. Come on, gang. Don't be lame. Strength, therefore, is one thing needful. Strength is the medicine for the world's disease. Strength is the medicine which the poor must have to tyrannize over by the rich. Strength is the medicine which the ignorant must have when oppressed by the learned. And it is medicine which sinners must have when tyrannized over by other sinners. And nothing gives such strength as the idea of monism. That means basically non-dualism, right? Nothing makes us so moral as the idea of monism. Nothing makes us work so well at our best and highest as when all the responsibility is thrown upon ourselves. Because that's what non-dualism teaches. It's all on you. It ain't on Mercury retrograde. Huh? It ain't on Mercury retrograde. It ain't on Bitcoin. Ain't no wrong with getting it. I got some. It ain't nothing wrong with all this other shit. But the responsibility is thrown upon ourselves. Stop looking outside to control the inside. I challenge every one of you. I challenge every one of you too. Whatever he say, I don't even know what he's finna say, and I second it. Let's see what he's finna say. I challenge every one of you. How will you behave if I put a little baby in your hands? Your life will change for the moment. Whatever you may be, you must become selfless for the time being. You will give up all your criminal ideas as soon as the responsibilities are thrown upon you. Your whole character will change. So if the whole responsibility is thrown upon you, if the whole responsibility is thrown upon our own shoulders, we shall be at our highest and best. Hey man, I know this to be true. When we have nobody to grope towards, no devil to lay our blame upon, no personal God to carry out our burdens, when we alone are responsible, then we shall rise to our highest and best. Now, let me highlight that. When we have nobody to grope towards, no devil to lay our blame upon, no personal God to carry out our burdens, when we alone are responsible, then we shall rise to our highest and best. I am responsible for my fate. I am the bringer of good into myself. I am the bringer of evil. I am the pure and blessed one. We must reject all thoughts that assert the contrary. I have neither death nor fear. I have neither caste or creed. I have neither father nor mother, nor birth, neither friend nor foe, for I am existence, knowledge, and bliss. I am existence, knowledge, and bliss. Absolute. I am the blissful one. I am the blissful one. I am not bound either by virtue or vice, by happiness or misery, by pilgrimages and books and ceremonials can never bind me. I have neither hunger nor thirst. The body is not mine, nor am I subject to the superstitions and the decay that come to the body. I am existence, knowledge, and bliss, absolute. I am the blissful one. I am the blissful one. This, says Vedanta, is the only prayer that we should have. Nigga, did you hear that? That's the only prayer you should have, says, obviously, Vedanta, right? This is the only way to reach the goal, to tell ourselves and to tell everyone else that we are divine. As we go on repeating this, strength comes. He who falters at first will get stronger and stronger, and the voice will increase in volume till truth takes possession of our hearts and courses through our veins and permeates our bodies. The illusion will vanish as the light becomes more and more effulgent. Load after load of ignorance will vanish, and there will come a time when all else has disappeared, and the sun alone. Come on, y'all. Come on now, y'all. Come on now, y'all. Come on. Come on, talk to me. Let's get that camera swapped around. It ain't swapping around. Hold up. All right. How did y'all feel about tonight's live? Y'all some SOPs in the chat. Y'all some SOPs in the chat, gang. What did we learn today? We learned this one thing here. Hold up. That it's all about the cosmic P, gang. It's all about the cosmic P. This is the P that I've been pushing. This is all I am sending to those out there. This is the P that I have been pushing before I ran into this. This seems like the path to be taken. I know it's not easy for everybody because you got to have an enemy. You got to have somebody to go against. That don't mean you can't find something over here. You see what I'm saying? That don't mean you can't find something that's beneficial to you. Take what thou shalt take. My message to everybody out there is this P, this principle, the one principle, the one true principle is that thou art. You are that infinite consciousness bliss. You are that infinite knowledge bliss. What's the other word to use? Absolute. You are the absolute. You can never not be the absolute. You are not bound. You can never be bound. You're only bound because you think you are bound. Because you assume you are bound. You are not bound. That's the standard operating procedure. That's the P that we standing on. That's the SOP that they dropping in the comment. That's who you are. That's what you are. And I stand on that. You need to stand on that when we on live and when we not. That's why when we not on live, that's why y'all have the study guide to continue to go over. So this will conclude our occult Sunday service. Appreciate y'all. Y'all stay standing on y'all motherfucking principle. Always coming through. Keep on standing on principle. Understand that there are no obstacles that will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. There are no obstacles, only opportunities to help you prosper over the motherfucking pain. As always, peace, much love, and hair grease, motherfucker.